let a lot of you women know you better put some of your men under investigation when they come out the joint. Because when I was in there, I only can speak for my city. Other city, we know what they do, like playing like DC and all them places. They go hard with the boys. Now, when your homie come home, the dude you talking about you want to be with, you better make sure you put him under investigation. Because a lot of your men and the dudes you're in love with, they was going hard with boys in prison. You know, they had a lot of fun with them, and they had a lot of fun with them. So you got to be careful and mindful. Do you want to put yourself in that situation without putting some of these guys under investigation? Because one thing about these streets in their neighborhood, they speak a lot. And a lot of guys was enjoying with each other. They know which one was in there messing with boys. So be careful, lady. Make sure you investigate your man when it come down with his sexual orientation when he's inside them prison walls. Peace out.
That's an anti-prison commercial. Dang.
Hey, mama, you playing with him. If you want to see if a will do for you, put him in position to do for you. A who give a fuck about you usually want to make other people's lives easier, more pleasant, more joyful. So if the nigga hadn't put no bread on you yet and got 4 years out of you, you didn't warrant that from the jump. Okay. Don't pick year 4 to start playing in this nigga face.
That really take me back to like understanding like the dating market, because nowadays it's super transactional. And the reason why that is because I'm about to get super real. The reason why I say that is because most people like to date with inside of their age bracket. After about like 30, you are who you're gonna be. You're pretty much settled into who you're gonna be. That's man and woman. Because of that, you approach relationships in a transactional way instead of it being, how can I benefit this person? Relationships that actually have those ideals established early on in your life when you're younger, when you still, have faith in humanity and stuff. But because it's after 30, everyone has already gone through their traumatic experiences with other individuals, and the ideals of what relationships are has been, I don't know, imprinted by someone else. And so that's the frame of reference where they usually operate from, even though that's not every frame of reference. But yeah, this dating culture is crazy.
Said to me the other day, what do you think is one of the number one dating problems? I said, if I tell you, you ain't gonna want to hear it. She said, no. I said, I'm gonna tell you. She said, what? I said, in most cases, a man has to change for a relationship because women want men to be a particular way. But anytime a man remotely tells them about themselves, of what they want, you have to accept them for them. And that's a problem. You want a grown person to change for you, but you're not willing to change for the grown-up. In most cases, most men don't complain a lot about what they want. We talk about in most cases, lady, you get in your feelings, you're in denial. Unless you dated some very weak men. If you dated some very weak men, please do not jump in this conversation, because you're going to use your very weak men and make that the standard. In most cases, most men complain less about what they want in relationships. And most women think they're better in relationships they are, because most men don't complain as much. Most men, when they start complaining about things that are bothering them, is when things are extremely bothering them. Most women nitpick about everything in a relationship, always complaining. You could take a woman who had a man that paid no bills, and now you paying all the bills, and they'll still find something to complain about.
What I realized is that even though they won't admit it, it's a lot of delusion going on now, and I'm witnessing that most women want us to be perfect. Now I know that ain't nobody perfect. The reality is, when I ask you, where can we have our flaws at? No cheating, love God, have money, be tall, be handsome, be God-fearing, be respectful to the kids, don't be abusive, don't drink too much, don't smoke too much, don't play video games. What 2 things on that list that I just spoke of would a woman accept? None. They really want us to be perfect, but we imperfect beings. And you have to find somebody to work with. It's real simple. You find somebody to work with that you care about enough to say, all right, I'm not going to take this 30% of him. I'm going to take this 70% of him, and I'm going to focus on that 70 so we can be great, beautiful, and I'm still going to respect him. I'm not going to take that 30, put the 30 over the 70, focus on the 30 so we can go like, what's going on nowadays? Divorce, 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 break up, break up, break up, break up. All right. I know they're going to say
This is the transactional mindset I was talking about. When you approach a relationship and require a person to change for you, then you're never going to get that person to change. They can only change for themselves. And the thing about it is that people want to know what's in it for them. So the things that you're asking them to change, is it in their benefit? That's a huge question, because you're saying you want it and it's for you. And what if that's outside of that person's character? Maybe it's something that you're going to have to get used to. Maybe it's something that is not inside of your border, but close enough to the line. I don't know. But when you try and convince a person to change for you, that's when you make the error, because they can only and will only change for themselves. And so will you. Super important to understand that. And then to have these demands, the men as well as the women have a transactional mindset when it comes to relationships. And the only way relationships last is if both people approach it in the sense of, what can I do for you? You are deficient here. Let me add the value there. Oh, okay. Thank you. You're deficient right here. Let me add the value for there. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. But usually on the women's side, if you tell her that she's deficient somewhere, she takes that as a personal attack. So you as a man have to vet that and say, hey, can you take direction? Can you take instruction? Can you take critique? Why? Because the only thing I offer in this relationship is going to be the truth. That's it. So you're going to have to be in love with that. If you're not, I'm not your guy. And we can go ahead and cut this short right now. So I do understand that part, but, I digress. Let's keep on moving.
About him. He looks very toxic.
My name is Jay. I'm 43, and I threw my flag because everything big over here. We ain't doing no little spooning.
Is that your only reason?
Definitely.
You sure about that?
I don't get spooned. I do the spooning.
And if he didn't throw his flag, would you still date him?
No.
Why not?
Something about him. He looks very toxic and I don't like too cocky. I don't like that. I don't like overly cocky men. I don't like that.
She only rejected him because he rejected her. She emotionally responded. But she definitely like overly cocky men, because overly cocky men gotta have their shit together. Got to. They say that, but they only say that till when you reject their ass.
Oh, what are you doing?
Why do you care now?
Why do I care now? What are you doing?
Here you go trying to put on the front like you don't know what's going on.
Put on the front about what? What am I putting on the front about? Why are you packing up all your stuff? To figure out where you going. You literally grabbing shoe boxes and all that. Like, where are you going? Like, where are you supposed to be going? Like, I'm confused. Where are you going?
Excuse me. You touching my stuff. I know I should have been left.
I'm just trying to figure out where you going.
Stop touching me. I should have left when you went down to the office. Excuse me.
Why are you packing up
Stop touching me. I don't want you touching me. Excuse me.
Okay, but why are you packing up your stuff?
You know what you did. Your friend, she texted me and told me what you did with that boy. I'm not stupid.
What boy?
Now you trying to act like you don't understand English. What did I do? What? You know what you did.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know, I really don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm very confused right now, because what are you saying right now?
Excuse me, I'm trying to get my...
Come on, you're not going nowhere. You steadily packing up all your stuff. You're not going nowhere.
You stop touching me.
Can you chill out?
What
What is wrong with you?
I don't want you touching me.
What did I do?
Why are you really trying to act? I just told you what you did. Now you trying to act like you don't know.
Bro, I'm being dead serious. I literally don't know what I did.
Your friend texted me and told me you was with a dude. You think I'm gonna just like... I waited all day to see how truthful you was gonna be to me.
Come on, win.
Don't worry about it.
Going nowhere. What are you doing?
Excuse me.
Bro, stop.
I don't want to be with you.
I don't care, bro. Stop.
Act like you not cheating.
I didn't cheat on you.
So what happened, Shawty? Why she gonna text my phone?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. To be real.
This ain't no prank. I'm not laughing. It's not a laughing matter. If it's a prank,
I'm not laughing. Who's laughing? I don't know. Is it?
I'm asking you. Not. Then you talking to me, break. Yo, I don't got time.
Is it a prank? I don't know. Going nowhere. Take that book bag off. You're not going. Okay, you're not going nowhere. I didn't even do nothing to you.
I don't care what.
I didn't do nothing.
No, it's always I didn't do. When somebody get caught.
I literally didn't.
What's like every time somebody get caught cheating? What did they do? What? They try to play like they're the victim. Stop trying to be the
Yo,
victim.
you literally know I did not do anything. You just lying. When did I cheat on you? Why would I cheat on you? Show me the stuff.
I do not want to be with you. Stop touching me. We're done. Shana, you think I'm playing? I'm so serious. We're done. I do not.
Okay, bro.
We're done.
Okay.
We're done. You got caught cheating. You don't want to take ownership to what you did.
Man, I can understand his response. I tried to put myself, empathize with him. I tried to empathize with him, put myself in his shoes, see it from his perspective. How would I react? I would have probably controlled my emotions a lot more and been a little bit more strategic about it. I don't know how I would react to that though. I know it's an emotional and volatile situation, especially if you really love that girl. So I can understand that, but I do respect him for not accepting it. No matter how much she lied to him to his face, he did not accept the bullshit. So I gotta commend that. Let's keep on moving. Shout out to that dude.
My kids in probably 3 years, and I haven't gotten my weekends.
How much do you make per hour?
$40.
Do you work any overtime?
Last year, I got a lot of overtime because most of the plant went down and we had natural disasters.
It's not right for the AG's office to come in my court.
This is for editing purposes.
I haven't seen my kids in probably 3 years, and I haven't gotten my weekends.
How much do you make per hour?
$40.
Do you work any overtime?
Last year, I got a lot of overtime because most of the plant went down and we had natural disasters.
It's not right for the AG's office to come in my court with these calculations in your lawsuit and just expect me to gloss over them and not look at it.
Dad has to work more overtime hours so he can pay his bills at home.
And it's in the interest of Abigail and Julia Bertram. At this time, the state will call Miss Roberts. Miss Roberts, for your 2 children that are before the court today, what kind of health insurance do you currently have them on?
They're currently on Oregon Health Plan, OHP.
And is that a plan that you get through the state of Oregon?
It is, yes.
Okay. And what kind of health plan specifically is this?
Like a Medicaid plan.
Do you have any access to any private health insurance that's affordable to you?
My husband just got a job, and so we're switching over to his health plan at least over the course of the next 6 months.
Okay. Do you know what the cost of that health plan would be?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay. And are you asking the court today to order Mr. Bergstrom to pay child support according to the guidelines based on his current income?
Yes.
Mr. Bergstrom, do you have any other minor biological children that are below the age of 18?
Not biologically. I have my wife's 2 kids that live with us that I'm the sole provider for.
And are you paid hourly there?
Yes, sir.
How much do you make per hour?
$40.
And then do you work any overtime?
Last year, I got a lot of overtime because most of the plant went down and we had natural disasters. But normally, I'm only scheduled to work 42 hours, which is only 2 hours of overtime.
How much overtime do you do on average each week?
It depends on what breaks or whatever's going on in the plant, but most of the time, it's usually only about 10 hours.
And are you paid time and a half for overtime pay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does your employer offer health insurance that you can enroll your children on?
They do, but it's outrageously overpriced. For just me and my wife, it would only be $200, but for a family of 4 or more people, would be over $432 a week.
What were you doing at the time that the previous order was done back on January 20th of 2011?
Working construction, the same job that I do now. I just had a lower rate of pay, which I was a pipe fitter, and that's usually $32 an hour.
I have no further questions. I pass the witness. Can you hear me, Mr. Bergstrom?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Bergstrom, I read your answer, and what you really wanted to point out in your answer was about your overtime, okay?
Yes, sir.
I have to point out to you, Mr. Bergstrom, that while I understand that being in the construction field a long time in my life, that overtime is not guaranteed, you are earning it. And as such, your child support has to be.
See, that's the problem with men. Notice how the ex-wife had an attorney. You go in court and you defend yourself. That's the stupidest thing you could ever do. Bring an attorney. You need someone that specializes in what it is that you're fighting for so that they can talk for you. That's why you get railroaded. And a lot of times men want to complain and say that, family court and family court laws are against men, but you see so many videos where they're battling the ex-wife and her attorney and not having an attorney of their own, which is ridiculous. Go to family court, bring your attorney.
My husband shut down every time I tried to address issues with him. I wish he wasn't so immature. What your husband is doing is something called stonewalling, which doesn't really speak to quote unquote his level of maturity, but rather his inability to cope with marital conflict, which a lot of men struggle with. When you address an issue with your husband, you might be coming from a place of criticism, meaning that you're using words such as always or you never. You're attacking your partner's character versus their behavior. So your husband starts to feel flooded and he shuts down as a way to protect himself against the perceived attack or to try to preserve your relationship because he doesn't want the conflict to escalate. But while he's trying to preserve your relationship, he's missing out on that connection that you're deeply searching for in that moment. All you want to feel is heard and seen, but you feel rejected by him shutting down. And you probably get louder trying to pull back his attention, but it just causes him to withdraw even more.
I think that that's the ingredients of a weak man. And the reason why I say that is this. If my wife or long-term girlfriend has a criticism of me, I want to explore it. I want to understand exactly what your critique is. Why? Because it could add value. But if it's not adding value, then I can articulate that to you. I could sit down and I can excuse your always and all these different things. Why? Because you're saying what you feel, and I understand that. So I take it with a grain of salt. I know you're speaking from a good place, right? Because you want me to be a better version of myself based off of what you see, and you have a critique. And to me, I think that that is super valuable. Why? Because I'm aspiring for greater, and you're inspiring me to be greater. Now, if your critique doesn't pan out, then we need to think about the next time we decide to elicit a critique and be wrong. Because the last thing that we're going to do is make me uncomfortable with you bombarding me with wrong critiques and me having to address them individually. Why? Because I'm already doing what I need to do. You just can't see it yet. So then at that point in time, it's something that you need to work out. Why? Because you've given me 3 critiques and they've all been wrong. And I've articulated to you why. And you understand it and agree with it. Why? Because I took the time to accept your critique and understand exactly what you mean by it. Why? Because it could be valuable. But then we find that it's not, then we got a problem. You know, you probably got 1 or 2 more of these where it's not valuable, so you need to pick it carefully the next time you decide to critique me and make sure you're on point. Because after 3, and you out, ain't no more critiquing. You need to do a little bit of self-evaluation before you decide to critique me. That's just how it should go. But if you're right, you're right. A man should not be retreating. He should be facing. He's the pillar. He's the leader. His behavior should exhibit that of what he want his significant other to exhibit. Does he want his woman to be reserved and retracted? No. I want you to be vocal and expressive. And I'm ready to listen. I want to hear exactly what you have to say. All of it. Why? Because I want to get a better idea of who you are. And when you talk to me, I get to know you. And that's super important when it comes to relationships, especially long-term ones. Especially long-term ones. A lot of people don't understand that, but yeah. I'm not going to demonstrate myself and emote in a way and retract myself. I'm going to face my adversity right up front. Why? Because I need you to know that I'm a strong man. What I'm demonstrating to you right now is a bunch of weakness. Let's move forward.
No real live player. I don't do fat, funky, cheesy, chunky cake ad. I don't with bitches that's a ham sandwich away from a heart attack.
Bye, Mr. Clean. Bye. Bye.
Fuck out of here, nigga.
Oh, no, he didn't. Smelling old as shit.
Yes, he did.
Y'all
Yes, he
saw that?
did. But they tried to play my dog, and he was not going for none of that. He was not going for none of that and went in on her. Look, I ain't even mad at him.
So you ready to die? I like that. Now she accept the consequences, and that's what I need.
In case you don't know, that's a female. And I reacted to the first version of this video where she caught her girl cheating. And the girl was lying and she was going in and she hit her. As you can see it, I made a reaction video to her. Y'all can check it out. She hit her. And she admitted that, yeah, I hit her. But now the girl saying she going in her life and she, you know, she all in her head and all this other stuff because she about to break up with it. But that's just what that was about. That's part 2. So just to keep y'all up on it. All right, this is going to be the final video for the night, and then we out. This is it. 2 hours in, easy day.
I snap my fingers. You forget that you were ever gay.
I was never gay.
Exactly.
Wait, no, stop.
Yes.
No, stop. You can't. I was never gay.
Okay.
No, I was never gay.
Sure.
You can't just state something, then snap your fingers and then be like, I was never gay.
If you say so.
Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, that you won. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's a pro. That's a pro move right there. The only response to that would be like, oh, okay. And don't feed into it. Otherwise, once you get started, it's gonna snowball.